Greatness can come from anywhere.
I draw inspiration from the Filipino people and to God and my family. Hard work is the most difficult things in boxing.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back, everybody. Smash that like button on your way in, subscribe, and join the Talk Nation family. Canelo at 168, going up like that and becoming a 3-time undisputed world champion. I mean, I guess that's too intriguing for Terence Crawford to pass up. Now, with that being said, Terence Crawford moving up that quickly to fight Canelo is a huge fight. But it took some time for Bud to fill into that 147-pound division. And we seen when he fought Errol Spence, which, in my opinion, Bud was in the best shape of his life. He always comes into fights in tip-top shape. But for that Errol Spence fight, I told y'all way before the fight was even announced. Go back and watch my previous videos, and while you at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the family. I told y'all Bud was already preparing for Errol Spence. I told y'all this. And I also said ever since Bud came into the welterweight division, every opponent that he has faced since then has been basically, I ain't gonna say sparring partners, but they have been preparing Bud to face Errol Spence. People's like, you crazy and all this kind of shit. And now look what happened. Terence Crawford went into that fight July 29th and showed the boxing public that he is undoubtedly, pound for pound, the real deal.
It was calling Errol Spence the boogeyman. And my reply was, how is he the boogeyman when I'm chasing him?
Terence Crawford, man, is a phenomenal competitor. And when people talk about the face of boxing, and I've always said this, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is just no one face of boxing. You have a tier of elites that are the face or faces of boxing. Yes, you have Canelo Alvarez. Yes, you have Terence Crawford. Yes, you have Gervonta Tank Davis. Yes, you have Naoya Inoue. Yes, you have Alexander Usyk. Yes, you have Arthur Beterbiev. Yes, you have Dimitri Bivol. You know what I mean? Like, all those names I just got from the saying. You're going to sit up here and tell me all those names ain't pound for pound, all those guys aren't the best at what they do? So it's not just one face of boxing. There are faces of boxing. And if you are mentioned in that elite class, I think that separates you from the rest of the pack. Now, on that Canelo versus CHARLO card, there is one fight that, me personally, that it intrigues me because of the history of these past competitors. And that's UGAS versus Barrios. Now, when UGAS lost to Errol Spence, you know what I mean? Like, Errol busted him up, especially after UGAS, you know what I mean, hurt Errol, had him flying into the ropes, and he just stood there like a deer in the headlights and chose not to do anything. I told everybody yet again, that is when UGAS lost that fight. How can you get Errol, somebody like Errol Spence, hurt, and then you not close in and try to seal the deal? I mean, I just didn't understand that. And Errol, he did what he was supposed to do. He came back and he basically beat the hell out of UGAS. He beat the hell out of UGAS. You know what I mean? Had his eye all crushed up, broken up, bleeding for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, he did UGAS dirty. Now, Mario Barrios, you know what I mean? Like, he's come up from the lower weight divisions, and former champion Tank kind of took care of him. You know what I mean? He came up, fought Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman beat him up, but Keith Thurman couldn't stop him. Keith Thurman couldn't knock him out. Keith Thurman did put his hands on him. So, I mean, Barrios is a tough competitor, but UGAS, in my opinion, he's not the strongest Thurman. So I think that Barrios is going to be there. He's going to be in the fight. But as far as boxing talent, I mean, UGAS, you can't knock UGAS. That Cuban style, he knows how to compact his style. Look at what he did when he fought Sean Porter. UGAS was the bigger guy, but he knows how to shrink and compact his style and still be highly effective. That is, in my opinion, one of the greatest assets of Dennis UGAS, meaning he can face competitors that are smaller than him or the same size as him, but more predominantly smaller competitors, and still have big success. Now, when he fights Barrios has some skills. Like I said, in my opinion, I think he's durable. I think he's got a chin. He's a tough young competitor. He's still trying to prove himself at 147. And you got to think, man, like Mario Barrios, he has fought some great names so far at 147. And he's not even probably considered top 5. So you got to take your hat off and you got to salute Barrios for that. You know what I mean? Like, he fought Keith Thurman. Now he's fighting, you know what I'm saying, your Dennis UGAS. I mean, these are two names at 147. You know what I mean? He shared the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis, man. So like I said, man, like shout out to Barrios, man. So if people was not giving him a chance in this fight against UGAS, in my opinion, man, you can't do that. Barrios can come into this fight and give UGAS, he can give UGAS some problems. Now I don't see neither one of these guys knocking each other out. I gotta be honest. I could be wrong, but I gotta be honest about that. When I thought about from an analytical standpoint, Barrios and what he brings to the table and what UGAS brings to the table, I see this being a chess match. I see both of these guys going to this fight, boxing each other, and this fight will be determined after 12 rounds. Quickly, I want to talk about Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez at 168. Now, I have to say this is hypothetical. If Canelo beats Jermell at 168 and he keeps his titles, and Terence Bud Crawford, he faces Errol Spence because he activated the rematch clause. He faces Errol Spence, possibly sometime later on in the year. Now, how Bud will look in that fight, because I don't see Terence Crawford looking any different at 154 than he did at 147. I think Bud will be stronger. I think he will still maintain his quickness and his speed. That mobility scenario for Terence Bud Crawford is out of the window. He moved very well when he fought Errol Spence, not only cutting off in the ring, but his inside game was also fantastic. So just imagine Terence Bud Crawford at 168. He's an expert at utilizing his distance. That's how Bivol picked Canelo apart. So Terence Bud Crawford, he can take that game plan and adapt some attributes from what he did with Errol Spence. So if I think Terence Bud Crawford, if he faces Canelo Alvarez, especially, Canelo has never fought anybody that can rough him up and beat him up and dominate him on the inside. That is one of the unforeseen benefits that David Benavidez possesses that can disrupt and give Canelo Alvarez problems. David is good on the inside, those great combinations, he's fast, he's powerful. Terence Bud Crawford is the same thing. Has power, has speed, has great punch selection, has great angles, uses his feet very well, has great vision on the inside, mid-range, and at long range, closing in on his opponent, setting up his shots. So from a skill aspect alone, Terence Bud Crawford, in my opinion, he beats Canelo. Canelo has power. Canelo is a great fighter, great pressure fighter, but Terence Bud Crawford just has superior boxing ability. And I believe the power that he has and possesses will keep Canelo Alvarez honest. Canelo's not going to be in a rush to rush in against somebody like Terence Bud Crawford, because not only Bud can stop him and stick him with the jab, keep in mind Bud could also switch, so he can give Canelo looks that he hasn't seen before. Yes, Lara was this, but guess what? Crawford is that. Crawford is that boy. Crawford is that guy. Crawford is that in the problem that Canelo will face at 168 that he has not faced so far at 168. When he went to 175, he met a problem called Dimitri Bivol. When he was at the lower weight classes, he ran into a problem called Floyd Mayweather. There's only certain fighters that Canelo can face, in my opinion, will give him tangible and legitimate problems. And Terence Bud Crawford is that guy. And the fact that Canelo is willing to face Bud, and I totally believe it. Neither one of these guys are saying it just to kind of like see how things will build up, to see if it is a fight there, to see how fans will migrate to the idea of a Crawford versus Canelo. No, Crawford nor Canelo is doing that. They both wouldn't mind fighting each other. Why not? It's a huge payday. It's a huge fight. And you talking about legacy for either one of these guys to have each other's name on their resume. Whoever wins, you know what I mean? But for Canelo to face somebody like Crawford, and for Crawford to face somebody like Canelo, and for Crawford to pull out a win over somebody like Saul Canelo Alvarez, future Hall of Famer, current one of the greatest, fighters in the sport of boxing currently today, right now as we speak. Terence Bud Crawford, man, he's already cemented himself. But for him to go up to 168 and face Saul Canelo Alvarez and beat Saul Canelo Alvarez at 168 and become undisputed, a 3-division undisputed champion, 3-time lineal champion, Terence Bud Crawford, man, Bud has been that boy, man, you know what I mean? But if he faces Canelo, which I believe that fight can, will, and it should happen in the future. But first, he has to face Errol the True Spence yet again. But I believe Chancellor Crawford in the second fight, he's going to get either another stoppage, but with the increased weight, I think the power is also going to increase. You know, I'm gonna keep it real for both guys. Spence may be more dangerous at 154 than he was at 147, yes, but Errol Spence still has the skill set at 154 that he had at 147. That is the difference. That is why I still pick Chancellor Crawford to beat Errol Spence. And the CANELO-CHARLO fight is an interesting fight. I'm not picking a winner as of yet, but those are two explosive competitors. That's going to be a great fight. And the aftermath of that fight, the fights that can happen from those fights are going to be super explosive. That's all I got. Talk Nation, stand up as your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You already know how I play. Share the truth.
Fatality.